What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Politically Insane Late Night Show. We are going to try this take two. We just now tried it. I think we just had a little bit of issues with maybe internet connection. I don't know. There was something on my end for sure, but I was kind of cutting in and out there. But welcome
Always
back.
your fault.
You can go ahead and blame me if you want. But tonight we have a lot for those who haven't joined yet. I'm going to go ahead and repeat what I've already said the last time we tried going for this. But anyways, what we've got for tonight, we're going to talk about Ron DeSantis, his family. They got completely destroyed by the left. Something that I really hope he can recover from. It's something they should have used this tactic a long time ago. Don't know why they didn't use this for Trump, but they tried something that definitely worked. I know it's hurting my feelings. And then we're also going to talk about some celebrities and how they have apologized for some horrible things that they've done. And we've seen a lot of this throughout the last year to maybe 2 years or so. And then we're also going to talk about King Cuomo, the prior, I guess, the former governor of New York, and how he is not being charged for anything. He's not being charged. All charges are being dropped. And then, of course, we will end off with This Week in History. But before we get there, I want to start off by mentioning our sponsor. Today, we are sponsored by Patriot Crew. Patriot Crew is an amazing company. If you want to support a company that supports the same values as you do, Patriot Crew is absolutely the place to go. I love their shop. I think they've got a lot of really cool gear. They've got all kinds of stuff. They've got this hat, and then they've also got this shirt that I'm wearing tonight. They've got all kinds of stuff, and the shirts, they're really comfortable. I like them quite a bit. They're a nice, soft, lightweight fabric, but it's really breathable. But it also feels pretty durable as well. And then the hat it's pretty comfortable. I'm usually pretty picky on hats. They sent me this one. I love it. I love the leather patch on it. But you can go to patriotcrew.co, use the code political10 for 10% off, or insane15 for 15% off 2 or more items. It's a great place to go. Go check out patriotcrew.co. And then also, of course, if you want to support us here at the Patriotic Youth, you can always support Politically Insane and the Patriotic Youth by going to thepatrioticyouth.com/shop and then use code INSANE for 10% off any of your orders. You can go there. You can check out, we've got some t-shirts there, mugs, things like that. You can always check out our inventory there. And I believe, Tyler, we added a new shirt there today, right?
Yeah, we did. This is our. If you saw the Aaron Rodgers interview, he had a quote where he said, "If science can't be questioned, it's not science anymore. It's propaganda." So we turned it into a shirt. So you guys can go check that out at thepatrioticyouth.com/shop.
And thank you, Aaron Rodgers, for your amazing quote there. That's pretty cool. But anyways, yeah, I'll always go over to the patrioticyouth.com/shop. That's the best way to support us here at the Patriotic Youth for what we're doing. Of course, you can use code INSANE for 10% off any of your order. And of course, if you're watching this right now, I want to encourage you because we are trying to grow. We're trying to get this podcast going, especially these live streams. We're trying to get it going. So make sure to comment below. And then, of course, share this. Share this link, whatever you're watching on, go ahead and share it. Share it through text, through social media, however you want to share it. Share it with some friends, family, whoever it is that you might think might want to join us. Of course, always join us in the chat, comment. We always like to see your chats coming through. We've got it all up, so we're all over right now. You can always join the discussion and send in your chats. We like to see that. And then, of course, Politically Insane. Also, you can always listen to us on your favorite podcast app. You can join us and listen to us every Monday. We release a new episode. And then, of course, we're starting to release the audio from this late night show as well. So it is always there. You can always join us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or pretty much any podcast app you listen to, or just visit politicallyinsane.us and you can always listen to them there as well. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into it. Of course, I've got Tyler here with me.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
And
As you know, I gotta go into this charade again. It's been a hard week for me. Uh, my favorite politician of all time, and social media influencer nearly died 1 year ago this Thursday or last Thursday. AOC nearly died. She nearly lost her life, guys, and we have to mourn the almost death of AOC. I don't know if you saw the Babylon Bee headline, but AOC leaves. My mom just sent it to me because we're a big fan of the Babylon Bee. It's AOC lays wreath at her grave on January 6th, which I thought was pretty great.
I will mourn the almost death of AOC because it was almost. We were that close to losing her. No, that's rude, and I'm joking. YouTube, I'm joking.
It's called
Uh,
humor.
I'm joking.
Maybe
little.
you should become funny, other, YouTube overlords.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten removed for worse, right? So hopefully they can understand that
Pedophile jokes.
yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was a terrible event that happened. We're gonna have to try to get past that. It was the worst thing since 9/11. We'll get to that as well. So we'll probably talk a little bit about that. But yeah, we're gonna start off by talking about Ron DeSantis and how his family got completely pwned by the left. And can you remind me what's our guest's name again?
Our guest is Kaylee Campbell. She's going to be on. Hopefully, that's the goal. She's having some issues of her own over in Texas, so hopefully she'll be able to come on. But we'll see.
Yeah, so she is hopefully going to be joining us here soon. So we'll let you know whenever she ends up popping in. But we just figured we'd go ahead and start without her for now, and then hopefully she can join in the discussion wherever we are. But as Ron DeSantis and his family, they've been attacked. It's a horrible thing to see this happen, and we know that Ron DeSantis he's a fighter, so I think he'll be able to get through this. But it's going to be tough. His family, him and his family, really, I think his family should be involved in this attack, but the left has completely destroyed him here recently. First, several were calling him out for quote unquote missing. He was not seen, he was not heard from, all of that. So he was missing for quite some time. We talked about that last week, how he was missing when he was just with his wife and she was going through cancer treatments. So that was kind of a weak attack. They realized that. They realized, okay, we've been attacking him for missing, that he's not around, but maybe that's not good enough. So they came out with a new one, and now they're attacking him and his family. Again, I want to stress that they're attacking his family too. I think that's a horrible thing. They're attacking them for wearing the same clothes in two different pictures. Uh,
The
th-
gall.
this is horrible. But yeah, him and his family, they took a Christmas photo and they're wearing the same outfit for their New Year's photo, and you can see it here on the screen. What on earth is this? That's just that's disgusting. They're wearing the same clothes for two different photos. And I don't think you could find two photos of me wearing the same outfit. That is just horrible. But,
I do want to point out I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore last Saturday.
I
So
think just almost every time that I see you, you're wearing that shirt. So I think we can lump you in.
I have a schedule of where I wear when I wear what outfit I wear. I wear a Green Day shirt every Thursday. I wear my Socialism Destroys shirt every Friday. I have a set schedule for my clothing, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't need your judgment.
Well, you need to change it up. You need to get an eighth shirt so you can throw off the schedule just a little bit and just keep it moving. But
Yeah, not gonna happen.
maybe you can get yourself a politically insane T-shirt at thepatrioticyouth.com. But anyways, yeah, so they've been attacking him for this, and it's just funny because the left wants to attack him in ways they always do this. They attack in ways that it's just what we talked about last week. They attack him saying that he's missing. You know, who cares that he hasn't been seen or heard from? Like, who cares? It's not that big of a deal. And it's something. And I think Steve brought it up last week, where it's just I'd rather our politicians be missing a little bit more. I would rather them not be so involved, because all that they're doing being involved is just simply making more mandates and making it worse. Of course, that's not the case for Ron DeSantis. I think when he's seen, good things are happening. But it's just funny because they attack him because he's missing. And we come to find out it's because he's with his wife during cancer treatments. So you would think you could stop, stop attacking a guy who's with his wife, probably during a kind of a stressful time. But now they're going to attack him for two photos wearing the same outfit. Like, are you serious? Is this really what you're going to try to attack him for?
Well, Josh, I know you don't have kids. If I'm correct, you don't have kids. But
No.
as a kid myself, right? And I have a family. Um, I've got two other siblings, right? They're younger than me. So the oldest is 15. Do you know how hard it is to have a photo shoot? Like
Oh, I
family pictures, it's first of all, it's an hour of my life that I cannot get back. And at the end I do nothing, but I feel like exhausted at the end. But it's even worse for the parents, all right? So having one photo shoot for, these two holidays, that's normal for a family, but obviously these people, don't have families because, one, they're liberals and liberals are anti-family. But also number two is well, they obviously know nothing about a family photo shoot. Is you take multiple pictures and you just recycle through those pictures because you don't want to go through that hell again.
Yeah, I mean, it's just funny, and I think you pointed it out, and I believe Matt Walsh is the one that like discovered this, which I think he knows that he didn't, but he just kind of threw that out there, like I guarantee this is probably what it was. I'm sure that they probably just took several photos in one photo shoot because everyone's already dressed, everyone's ready for it. Let's just get this out of the way, and of course, either him or whoever runs his social media, I'm sure he has somebody for that. They just posted another photo from that same photo shoot. Like, how many Instagram influencers have posted the same outfit with the same, or that posted different pictures with the same outfit on? I guarantee it's happened to everyone. Like, how often do you really change your outfit that much where it's not going to be the same in two photos somewhere?
I
you know,
have I have the shirt I wear on Monday is I've had that shirt since like fifth grade. Yeah, that's about how much I've grown. Maybe I shouldn't admit that, but um,
it's okay, bud.
y-
You'll hit puberty someday.
someday.
Then you'll
At
hit your gr
least, you know what? At least I can grow up in maturity, unlike some people, AOC. But
Yeah, I just think it's funny, and AOC was one of them that was kind of calling him out for being missing too. So I just think that's funny, and there's just so many people that were attacking him for this, that this was becoming such a big thing, and it was just funny to me that you're gonna attack a guy for having two photos with the same outfits, and it's clear that it must have been in the same photo shoot too because it's in the same same setting and everything. So I just don't get the infatuation with trying to attack him so bad. And this is why I am rooting for Ron DeSantis for 2024. And I encourage everyone to be sharing Ron DeSantis's just really everything about him, even if you want to share the two photos that were the same. But not really because that might throw some people off. But I mean, really though, I think Ron DeSantis is my candidate for 2024 because he hates the left hates him so much, but they can't find a real attack for him. They want to point things out that are just false. And we talked about that last week, where they're calling him out for COVID down in Florida, when you pay attention and you compare those numbers per capita, and Florida, yeah, maybe their cases are rising right now, but their deaths have gone down and plateaued at hardly anything. So it's crazy to see how they attack him, but they can't come up with a real attack that's actually going to do anything. He literally makes his state free. That's what I love about Ron DeSantis, and hopefully people can see that. Hopefully people can realize that, especially for Trump supporters. Hopefully you can realize that DeSantis is Trump, but more professional, and I think he's going to do. I think he has the potential to do more than Trump did, because of how professional he is, and because he can relay a message in a better way than Trump could. And hopefully that makes sense to people whenever they do come around to vote, because I really think that DeSantis is the right way to go.
I would agree with you there. But one thing I do want to point out with this whole like they're attacking Ron DeSantis and they don't have any attacks. It's the same thing that they'll do when they throw you're racist or you're anti-vax, right? They name call you because they don't have an intellectual argument to argue with you, right? So if I'm arguing with someone who's pro-abortion, right? I have arguments, right? I can tell them, all right, here's the definition of life. Here's how a fetus is applied to each like has got a fetal metabolism. They're made out of cells, right? Basic things that make you alive. Um, Instead, they don't have an argument, so they have to go. Well, Ron DeSantis, he. Oh my gosh, he decided to do a photo shoot, and he used the two different pictures from that photo shoot for two different events, right? And they don't have an argument, and that's what we I guess I've come to expect from these people.
Well, and it's just sad too. Like, can you not come up with some kind of argument that will actually attack us? And hopefully Ron DeSantis can look at the hysterical side of this like we can. But him being the center of this attack and his family, hopefully they can get through this. We'll be praying for him and his family.
Well,
Um,
real quickly, his wife
yeah,
has cancer. I don't think this is his biggest problem.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, I would sure hope that he's not going to take this to heart. Knowing Ron DeSantis, it's not. It's just not. I
Yeah.
haven't heard him say anything on this yet, but I can't wait to hear that clip and what he's gonna say to people. Just because the way that he attacks the left is just it's awesome. I don't care. I don't care who you are. They're just awesome.
Yeah. Real quickly, I do want to bring up chat. This is from Cold North. I just thought it was interesting. It doesn't really have to do anything with the topic, but it has to do with January 6th. He says, if you want to know what an insurrection looks like, pay attention to Kazakhstan right
Kazakhstan.
now. I don't know how to say it. I can't read. All right. We've all known this. We've all known this.
I'm kind of
So,
retarded.
yeah. January 6th, 2021 was nothing more than some patriots hoping their voices would be heard peacefully. Now, of course, there were rioters, obviously, as we've talked about before, but that is an interesting point. Like, this is nothing compared to what happens worldwide.
Yeah, well, and it's nothing compared to several things that have gone on in history too, and that the fact that they want to
No, it's
compare
worse than 9/11. Worse than 9/11.
yeah,
You know, I think we did the research. It's it's almost 3,000 deaths. It's one death for January 6th,
yeah.
3,000 deaths for 9/11. That's up. It's like 2,900 something. It's just so stupid. These people, like when people say that.
And we'll get more into that later, as you can probably see in the show notes. But
Yeah.
anyways, I'm going to go ahead and move us on to the celebrities. This is something we've seen a lot more of recently. It really seems like I think it was 2020 is when we saw a lot of this. Even back before, I think maybe in 2016 through 18, you saw quite a bit of this kind of cancel culture taking place, and it's something that it is real. Whether you want to call it cancel culture or not, whether you want to recognize it for what it really is or not, cancel culture is real, and it's something that a lot of people do have to face, and it's something that, of course, celebrities were going to face. But we see a lot of these celebrities, they all try to apologize for some of the stupid things that they've done, and of course, some of these things, I just can't stand. I can't stand that they did it, and it's just amazing that they would even do such heinous crimes as some of this stuff. But anyways, starting off with Patton Oswald, this is one of the most recent ones. He apologized for a picture with Dave Chappelle. This is literally just a picture with Dave Chappelle, and he had to come out and apologize. For those who didn't know, Dave Chappelle, he got kind of attacked a little bit by he got attacked a little bit by this cancel culture, and it was more or less just that he came out and he made jokes about gay people and about transgenders. For the most part, if you actually watch the special, Dave Chappelle was kind of on their side. He was talking about a friend of his, and he was joking kind of about things with this friend. So it just seemed kind of stupid that all of this was going on. But so Dave Chappelle, he kind of got the boot from Netflix and all of that. But then later on, he came out and he just kind of told them that he doesn't care, and it seems like he didn't really get canceled. But anyways, Patton Oswalt, many might remember him from like King of Queens. I think that was the one.
Ratatouille. That's
Remember
all I know him from.
you
Um,
know Ratatouille,
yes,
but
I am a huge Ratatouille fan.
but yeah. So I mean, he is. I think he's a funny comedian. And he does some funny stuff. Of course, with him being as popular as he is, he's going to know Dave Chappelle, and he got a picture with Dave Chappelle, and people are attacking him for this, and he had to come out and apologize for it. Apologizing for a picture with Dave Chappelle. I don't think that's the worst that he had to apologize for, because I think he had some other things that he might be able to. He might want to go back and apologize for, which I'm not really I'm not really saying that he should do that, but there's probably some worse things, don't you think?
Like maybe comparing transvestites to clowns, because that would be pretty bad according to the leftist standard, right?
I would think so, but he probably wouldn't have done something like that.
No, he couldn't have.
You said this is for like families and kids? Because this sounds really grim and creepy. Well, you didn't let me finish. Because we're also going to have men in bright clothing and makeup. Up, time out. You mean like transvestites, right? Well, technically, yes, but they're going to keep going so that they're clowns. You realize a clown is just a transvestite that doesn't stop. If you saw a guy in lipstick and eyeshadow, you'd be like, Timmy, leave him alone. That's his own thing. The guy's like, oh no, hang on. Woo! Like, oh, Timmy, he's a wonderful clown. Get over there. I didn't know you'd use a whole tube of lipstick on one cheek. Please, entertain my child. Run at him out of the darkness. He'll love it.
All right.
That's just the thing that I thought was silly, was that, like that there, I think he did something that was actually maybe worth apologizing when you consider cancel culture. But then you take a look at that, and then you take a look at what he's getting criticized for now, and that he actually comes out and apologizes for this. I just find that hilarious. That, like, when you look at that, and maybe he has come out and apologized for that. I don't know, but I haven't seen anything about that. Not only that, but like that clip there that we just now played, I think that's kind of funny. Or not really kind of. I think that's funny. I thought that was a pretty funny sketch, and he can be a funny guy, but then he wants to try to be woke, and that's what happens to all of these celebrities and what they do whenever they try to apologize for all of these things. They come out and they do something that's either funny or they do something that's good. But maybe for some of them, they might have done something that crossed the line and offended someone along the line, but it's not anything worth apologizing for. And, they come on and apologize, like taking a picture with Dave Chappelle. But
It's
other,
so stupid.
it
Like,
is.
I don't understand. Like, it's a person. Like, I've taken pictures with people that, maybe some other people don't like. I've taken a picture with my brother. I know people who don't like my brother. Should I apologize for that? It's like, of course, one person's going to be offended because there's going to be some snowflake out there who doesn't like it. There's one of my favorite comedians, Jim Gaffigan. I went to go see him when he came to Boise recently. And he had this whole like 10-minute segment on bells. Like, he was making fun of bells. Like, it was hysterical, right? But then at the end, he goes, of course, somehow one person in the audience is going to be offended by this. And it is true, because there's always going to be one person offended. And if you take every single person who gets offended and you take their word as gospel, right? Like, it's like, oh, you were offended. I cannot be like, I can't do this. You're never going to be able to do anything. You could eat an apple and someone might get offended. Some pro Apple like rights activist is going to be mad at you. People are going to be mad at you, and you got to deal with it. Now, if it's like 90% of your audience, that's a different story, right? If it's like 2 people, you don't respond to that. All right, that's nothing.
Yeah, and it is. It's just silly. But it's happened with so many different celebrities. They apologize for these horrible things that they've done. But a few of them, just to name off a few, there was Amy Schumer. She refused. I think this was back in 2018. She refused to do any kind of Super Bowl commercials until Colin Kaepernick was rehired on an NFL team. I apologize to her, but I don't think she got the memo. He sucks, so he's just not going to be hired. Tough luck.
Well, real quickly, I think the thing that she should be apologizing for is every single comedy special, because it's so unfunny that, like, I guarantee you, people accuse Dave Chappelle of causing to transgender suicide. I'm pretty sure that just made people kill themselves out of boredom. Like, her specials did that.
Yeah, I mean that's probably the thing she ought to be apologizing for, but instead she apologizes for being white and says that she won't be doing any commercials until Colin Kaepernick's rehired. That's not going to happen, and it's not because he's black or anything like that, because there are more than half of the NFL players who are black. So that's not a thing. And anyone that wants to try to say, which Colin Kaepernick is literally trying to say this, anyone that wants to say that the NFL is racist, they're just dumb. They're just totally stupid.
Yes, because racism awards people massive amounts of money.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't make any sense at all. And even the way that Colin Kaepernick tries to come across it still doesn't make sense, because it's not like slavery. They're not seeing your skills so that they can make you work for them for no money. They're paying you crazy amounts for no labor. You're having fun and enjoying it. This is not a job. But anyways, another that we know of, and this one pains me because I love her quite a bit. But Emma Watson, she's one of them that was kind of attacked with this apologizing for our white privilege. But Emma Watson, she acknowledged her white privilege as a feminist, and I believe this again was in 2018, and she had to wonder why others were calling her a white feminist. So others were calling her a white feminist, and she didn't understand why they were attaching white onto this. She just wanted to be known as a feminist. She just wants to stand up and fight for women's rights and all of this. But then, people were calling her a white feminist, that there was these other people, these other, black people and other people of color that were coming out and they were calling her a white feminist. She had to question why they were calling her that until she realized, like, oh man, I'm white. I can't believe that. It's so much easier for me.
What a shock.
Yeah, but it's just funny the way that these people come out with this. Now this one,
Real
uh,
quickly, back to Emma
yeah,
Watson. She
yeah,
did recently have to apologize because she posted the black square, like how everyone was posting the black square on social media. She posted it, but she put a banner around it to make it look prettier because the black square is kind of boring. And she got in trouble for that because apparently you're not supposed to decorate the sacred black square.
oh really? I don't
Yeah.
understand the idea of a black square. But yeah, I mean, it is painful to know that she's one of them because I do like her quite a bit. I like her in the Harry Potter series, and I like her in just about everything she does.
Are
But
you a Harry Potter nerd? Is this what I'm learning about you, Josh?
I'm actually not.
Grow
It's
up. What are you, a 9-year-old girl? Okay.
actually,
Move on from Harry Potter. Gosh.
I'm actually not a huge Harry Potter nerd, but I mean, I enjoy it. I don't even know if I've seen them all, but I think it's pretty cool. I need to sit down and watch them all because they are fascinating. They're fun. They're fun to watch.
The new Harry Potter like special like reunion. They banned J.K. Rowling from it, which is amazing because she created all of it.
Yeah.
That's like banning, I don't know, like Jack banning Jack Dorsey from Twitter. Like he
Yeah.
he created, or Mark Zuckerberg from Facebook.
And maybe next week we should go through the ones that did not back down to cancel culture because I think she's one of them. But yeah, there's so many of these that do back down to cancel
Oh, I
culture.
thought you were talking about Emma Watson for a second. I was like, we were just
Yeah.
talking about her apologizing."
Yeah. But Katy Perry is another one. And this one I can sort of get where people would have been where they would have seen something. I still don't think it was anything worth freaking out about. But Katy Perry, she had to acknowledge her whiteness when she was confronted about a music video that she did back in 2013 for one of her songs, and I forgot what song it is. But she's sitting there. She has cornrows and she has grills on, and then she's eating watermelon. So yeah, she had to apologize for that. That came out a little bit more. I don't know. I think that's kind of funny, but that's probably the racist part of me, I guess. But no, I think the situation is funny. I think it's just funny that she has to apologize for that. Maybe the people that were telling her to apologize for it were the ones with the wrong mind. Another one was Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel, both the late night guys, the both late night Jimmys. They both had to apologize for using blackface in different sketches. I think Jimmy Fallon. I remember him using blackface to imitate Chris Rock. So it's like, he's Jimmy Fallon's not black. How relay himself off as Chris Rock if he doesn't disguise himself somehow?
Well, real quickly, I think again, like Amy Schumer, the thing that they have to apologize for is not coming up with anything funny in their late night in like forever.
Yeah.
Like
See,
that's
I used to like Jimmy Fallon, and he just kind of kept using the same things and kept on doing the same things, and it just became not funny. I really only like him whenever he's got celebrities that I like to watch. He
Mhm.
does a few funny games, but it's only funny because the games that they're doing
Are
are just
funny.
funny. Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah.
not necessarily him. I used to think he was kind of a funny guy, but he's just kind of backed away from all of his humor. He
Can we
stopped
get
it.
like Jay Leno back or David Letterman, people like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, I like Jay Leno quite a bit, and he's not so far left either, so it's a little bit easier to watch
Well, I
him.
don't know if you've seen the special of him and Adam Carolla. It's hysterical. Jay Leno
I need
hysterical.
I need to watch some of Adam Carolla's stuff because he's got some good stuff out there, and he
Adam
just
Carolla's hilarious. He's a great comedian.
fire too, and so he's getting a lot of other guys in with him and stuff. It's really cool.
See,
But
okay, one more point I have, and then
yeah,
then I'll let you continue. But uh, the funny thing is, there's a lot more that Jimmy Fallon needs to do to imitate Chris Rock, and that's like, I don't know, be a good comedian.
yeah, yeah. That's at least one of them that he needs to add to his list for sure. But anyways, Chris Harrison is another. I guarantee, if anyone knows this guy by name, other than maybe reading articles, because I think that's the only way that I know about him. If you know that, just stop watching right now. I don't even want to see your number on the watch list right now at all. Just stop watching if you know him before this little scandal broke out. But Chris
What?
Harrison,
You don't like yourself some Bachelor?
he is the Bachelor host. Maybe I need to be kicking Tyler out here, but
Hey, go ahead.
but
Got
you know,
better ways I can enjoy my Saturday.
yeah, he was he was the host for The Bachelor, and he came out. There was a girl on there that she was chose. I don't even remember the scandal anymore. It was just so stupid. Oh yeah, she was dressed up in one of her pictures back from high school. She was dressed up as a belle, a Southern belle. She had the Southern belle dress on, and she was in this picture with other people, and people were calling her racist for that, just for being in a dress and dressed up like a Southern belle. That's it, and they were calling her racist. And she came out, and then I guess the guy that she was dating from that show or whatever, he was black, and then he got mad at her and broke up with her and everything over all of
Well,
this.
well, he defended her at first, and
He
then
did.
once he caved to social pressure. What a guy! Like, just what a guy! Like, you
Yeah,
defend her. Obviously, she's in love with you. Well, maybe I don't know if you could call it what happens on The Bachelor love, but um, it's and she's you're a black dude, right? She's never treated you racist, probably. She just wanted she's on The Bachelor, so she's not the brightest of women. All right. She probably just thought, hey, this is a pretty dress. I'm gonna wear it to this party. And that's all it was. But instead the media has to go, oh, it is it's a racist scandal. It's just so dumb.
well, and this comment deserves to be put up there. That's actually my brother, but those of you who have watched, that he's come on the show as well. But that's why he's allowed to watch it. But he question marks Chris Harrison. Who's that? But anyways, he's
Oh,
the
Chris Harrison a little too well, I guess.
yeah. So all of this happened, and Chris Harrison came out, and all he said was that at first he came out and he was kind of defending her. He just said that really you shouldn't you shouldn't be hard on her until you hear her speak about the matter. Just like let's wait and see why she was dressed up. Maybe it was just a dress up she had no idea. So let's hear her side of the story. That's what Chris Harrison said at first, and everyone attacked him for it. How dare you think that we ought to go to her and see what her side of view or her point of view about this is? How dare you? Instead, let's just attack her without any reason, without any actual rhyme or reason behind it.
See, but the
But
left has to be the judge, jury, and the executioner, all three, right?
yeah,
And to the left, there should be no due process for these people because you've decided that they're evil.
yeah. I mean, it was just so he came out first and he was talking about this. He talked about how let's hear from her first before we just jump to conclusions and call her racist for this. Basically, let's do the right thing. And then everyone got upset and he cried an apology to the woke mob. And he said, and this is quotes, "From here, I can only try to evolve and be a better man. And I humble myself before all of you." How pathetic. It's pathetic enough that you're known for being the host of The Bachelor, but the fact that you come out and you're apologizing for just simply saying, let's do the right thing and not call someone racist before we know their intentions behind something that they do, before knowing the whole story, basically. Like, hey, let's hold up because I'm not going to call her racist. I don't know why she was dressed like that, and I don't know anything about the situation. What is there to apologize there? And it's just pathetic. But
There's a Family Guy where Peter's at a college. I think it's Peter. Maybe it's oh no, it's like Brian or something like that. Is at a college, and there's a bunch of students protesting, and he walks over. He's like, "Why are you guys protesting?" And one of the activists, he's got like blue hair and all that, like stereotypical liberal, and he goes, "Someone painted something mean on the transgender bathroom," and the principal or whatever, president or whatever of the school, I forget what he says, didn't overreact. And it's like that's how they look at it. Like, if you don't freak out over this, then you too are complicit in the evil, right?
Yeah, it's just annoying the way that celebrities apologize, because most of them apologize for things that there's no reason for them to apologize for. There's nothing there. Let them attack you. Let them do whatever they want. Just don't give in to them, because it's just stupid. But there's all of these celebrities that do this. They've done it so much, and this is just a few of the big ones that I saw that I thought was worth mentioning. I think they are the more popular ones that we know of. But all of these celebrities, they come out and they apologize for stupid things, and they have to apologize even now for being white, as we see many of them doing. They have to come out and apologize. And I wanted to pull up a clip, but I didn't do it just because I didn't want to have to watch it. But there's a clip out there of a bunch of celebrities that went in on this, and the only one I remember being in it was Kristen Bell. But all of these celebrities, they went in on this video, and it was basically just apologizing for being white. That was all that they
Do
did
you
for
want me to pull it up for you, Josh?
No,
Because it sounds like
I
you really want to watch it.
I really would rather not. I
You all
almost
right? I'll pull it up for you because you want to watch it so badly.
I almost pulled it up, and I was like, "You know what? Let's just keep it up. Yeah, I don't even need that."
Josh, if you want to watch it, just say so. All right. I could just pull it up right here and you have the video if you wanted.
Anyways, we're going on to King Cuomo, the
Are you
former
sure?
of New York. It was just released that the DA came out and just stated that they're dropping all charges. If we look back and understand what happened with Cuomo, for those of you who know
It's my
who
boy.
Cuomo the homo, King Cuomo,
It's my
he
boy,
the
King
former
Cuomo.
the former New York governor. He's going to face no charges for sexual harassment or for misleading the public about the number of COVID-19 deaths tied to nursing homes in his state whenever he was governor. So both of those charges dropped, or I guess all of those charges, because there were several sexual charges that were brought up against him. And then one of the former governor's attorneys, so one of Cuomo's attorneys, Elkin, I don't even know how to say the last name there.
Abramowitz.
Abram.
Ab.
But anyways, one of his
Can't tell
attorneys,
if it's Polish or Jewish.
I can't either. It's probably Jewish. Just knowing how many Jews are in the are up there in the higher ups in the government. But
That are intelligent.
yeah,
You
but
know, for people who have space lasers, they're really intelligent. They have
yeah,
space lasers, obviously.
but anyways, it's Cuomo's attorney came out and made this announcement Monday that the charges were going to be dropped. That the district attorney's office, uh, they wouldn't even make a public statement, because they wouldn't make any kind of statements about dropping the charges, which is just dumbfounding to me. I question that. Why wouldn't you explain yourself? Why wouldn't you come out and explain why there's no charges being filed anymore? Why is this something that we would hide from the public? It kind of goes back to the same thing that we were talking about with the Ghislaine Maxwell trial. Why would you not come out and explain yourself? Why not make a statement? But then one of his attorneys also said that I was told, after a thorough investigation, as we have said all along, there was no evidence to suggest that there were any laws broken, and that's specifically talking about the COVID deaths and how he covered up a lot of what he did, how he put with COVID in nursing homes.
I didn't realize that murder was legal now.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking. Just murder.
1 second, I
Um,
gotta go take care of some business.
the fact that he had the understanding and knew that there were sick people in with people who were most susceptible to this virus that was going on, and knew that they were most likely going to die if they got this virus, but they put those people in those nursing homes. But there's nothing to see here. And the whole time the media was completely they were completely silencing all of this about the COVID deaths and how he was putting sick people in the nursing homes. And for those who don't know what a nursing home it is literally old people who are basically on their last. They can't fend for themselves.
The
They
White
can't.
House is one of those.
It is now. It's turned into a nursing home. If you don't know what the nursing home is, just go to Washington D.C. You can see the biggest nursing home in this, and probably in the world. I don't know if
I
there's
mean, I think it hosts the oldest people other than maybe George Soros and Queen Elizabeth.
yeah.
All right. I think
No,
those are
but
the
you don't
oldest people.
that George Soros is in the White House. He is sitting in the basement with
No, he's kind
Bill.
of above it with his like puppet string, like, puppeteer,
I,
whatever,
that
like the
probably
strings.
told you.
I have no strings on me.
But yeah, so just all of this that was going on, and the whole time, let's remember and go back, because this whole time when all of this was going on, the left was hiding all of this factual information about what was really going on. They were hiding it, and they were actually praising New York and held them up as the best in the nation for how Cuomo handled COVID. They were praising Cuomo at the time, but then they were hiding this. They couldn't find a way to hide it, so then they came out with these sex scandals, and sure enough, now the sex scandals were all dismissed. They were just dropped. So all of these, and I don't know if there's individual cases that are still out there that he's going to have to face. I'm not sure about all of that. I haven't checked into it, but I just know that the DA has dropped all of these charges. And what's funny to me is, does this mean that he can now go back into the role as governor, because he was recalled and voted to be recalled because of all of these scandals and because of all the scandals that broke out. So since these charges were dropped, can he just resume as governor of New York?
That is a good point. No one wants King Cuomo back. But real quickly, there is. So I used to be into Magic when I was, a nerdy like fifth grader. It was not bad. But there's a
But
sleight of hand, right, where you have an object and you move it off of the table. So you're trying to make something like disappear, right? So there's a card in the deck, and you have an object, and you just move it off the table. No one notices when you're throwing off because they're looking for the card. You throw off, this mug. Let's say the card's in the mug. I put it away like, oh, I just gotta move this out of the way, right? That's what they're doing with this nursing home scandal. This is the mug, right? This is their the sexual harassment, right? And instead of they want you to focus on this, and as they throw that away, they're also throwing away, the murder of thousands of old people. And this is something the media has done, the establishment have been doing the entire pandemic, especially with Cuomo. Like, um, even with things like with cases and deaths, right? It was, oh, we got to be worried about deaths, and then they quickly switch it to, oh no, we need to worry about cases. And they start talking about cases, and now everyone's like, oh my gosh, there's 1,000 cases of COVID, we're all gonna die, even though there's like one death. So
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, the, it's exactly what they were doing too, and they do this so often, and you would think that everyone would kind of catch on to this and they would see this stuff going on and everyone would start to question it, but instead it's just us who have some sort of intelligence that end up responding to it and calling it
I
out.
don't think lumping me into the people with intelligence is you know accurate. I feel like we might get removed from YouTube for
Those
misinformation.
of us, those of us, not you, but those of us.
I'm
Let me kind
I'm
of
special.
qualify that and make that very
I'm
clear.
kind of
But
retarded.
you like that one.
I like that one mostly because I don't have like the names up, so it's the only one I know is the right sound. I don't want to be an idiot like who plays the wrong sound. Play like, I don't know, Greta Thunberg, like how dare you or whatever.
But it is just amazing how all of this gets dropped, and I don't get how all of these charges are dropped and how there's nothing found here that's illegal. I think any of us can look at this and realize this. I think this is where it takes maybe a few of us as citizens to stand up and take a look at this, and maybe we start filing lawsuits, and getting groups that we start filing lawsuits against people like this. We need to find these people, and we need to file the lawsuits against them, and make sure that they get taken down for what they did. because I think this is ridiculous that the DA can just drop these charges, because what he did cost so many grandparents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, whoever it might have been, those older people that were in these nursing homes. There were so many that got COVID and probably did die from COVID because of this man, Cuomo, because of what he did. And the government tried to hide it. The government tried to keep it sealed. They didn't want you to know. And whenever you found out, they came up with something else trying to hide that from you and trying to distract you. That's what's going on here. And now he's not even getting any of these charges held against him. He's not being held accountable for what he did. That's just flat out wrong, and it needs to be talked about, and something needs to be done about it. I don't know exactly how to go about that, but I know that something needs to be done about it. And we have to stand. We have to take a stand and start to fight back against this kind of stuff. Did you have something?
Exactly. Um, it's kind of sad to see. Like, I think that if you've done, sexual crimes, right? If you've committed an actual crime, you should go to jail, right? And I do think, like, I don't think Cuomo raped anyone. Luckily, I'm really glad he didn't, because it's horrible for the victim. But the fact that he's not getting any accountability, it's the same thing with the fact, if we talked about Jeffrey Epstein last week, and none of the people who were involved really are being held accountable. You've got, Ghislaine Maxwell uh, was held accountable. Jeffrey Epstein, well, he's dead because he killed himself. Obviously, very obviously, killed himself. There was no foul play. Just randomly at the same time, the security guards weren't paying attention, and the cameras went out. But obviously, he killed himself, and we would never say otherwise, YouTube. But um, they're not being held accountable, right? And you're seeing all these elites not be held accountable for their actions, right? Cuomo's not getting held accountable for the nursing home or the sexual harassment. You're not seeing anyone be held accountable for people like Prince Andrew, Bill Gates, um, Bill Clinton, lots of bills aren't being held accountable for the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. And we see this time and time again, where the establishment is saved by the establishment. And this is where the people who, someone like me, if I did what Cuomo did, I'd be in jail for the rest of my life, and rightfully so, right? But someone like Cuomo, because he's a part of the establishment, they're not going to charge him, because, again, he's a part of the establishment, and the establishment helps the establishment. And that's how it goes in DC, sadly.
Yeah, and it needs to be fixed. I don't know how much we can do. It's definitely something I've looked into, and I'm trying to look more into to know what we can do as citizens. And whenever I find out a great way to do it, then I'm absolutely going to be relaying that to you as the people. But there is just so much that is going on that hopefully we can find a way to stand. Hopefully we can find a way to stand up against this stuff, and we can try to fight back against it, because there's so many people who are not getting held accountable. And kind of going back to the Ghislaine Maxwell trial, even though this is completely off topic, there's even things. So we find things like that, and we say that she's guilty, but then we don't go after all of the people who were paying to have these young women as their sex toys, and doing as they please with them. And we look back at the Kyle Rittenhouse trial and what went on there. So Kyle Rittenhouse was acquitted. He was not guilty. And so what that would mean is that these people like Gage Grosskreutz, who attacked him, wouldn't we start to go and look at them and say, okay, now they need to be punished. They need to be charged for the wrongdoings that they did. When do we start to stand up and start to fight back against these people? When do we finally look at who needs to be charged, and when do we actually take them down and hold them accountable for what they've done? I think it's just pathetic to see that. It's pathetic to see all of these people kind of getting away with it. But we absolutely have to get into it. But I think that's pretty much all that we have for today, unless you had something else on Cuomo.
No, not really. I don't have much on Cuomo.
All right.
Other than buy this shirt if you want to make fun of him. We're gonna have an updated version with his brother on it, starring his brother. We're just the Photoshop. We're trying to make sure it has to do with the Mario Bros. So we're just trying to make sure we don't get like copyrighted or something like that. We don't have the money to deal with a lawsuit, so we have to be careful. Um, Real quickly, do you want to before we get into this week in history? Do you want to take some chats, Josh?
Sure. Yeah, we can go ahead and take a few if you see
All
some
right.
that worth
I
bring.
have one that is critiquing you. So this is Avenging Pineapple from Twitch. Um, you might be as stupid as your name suggests. You may identify as a patriot, but if you support Trump, it doesn't matter. You're no patriot means you support a traitor. How do you respond to that?
I respond to that by I don't know who you are, and I don't really care. I am a patriot. I care about my country, and I will do anything to fight for my country, whether that be physically or by standing up and doing what's right, which that's really where I'm at now. And I think that's really all that calls a patriot a patriot. Not only that, but I'm not sure exactly how you call Trump a traitor. I'm not sure where you draw the line there in calling him a traitor.
Well, he doesn't give any evidence. Like, if you're gonna
No,
make an
no evidence
argument,
at all.
give some
That's
evidence. Like, I can say Mark Milley is a traitor. Why? He gave a call. He said he was gonna give a call to China if we
yeah.
decided to declare
He,
war. That's being a traitor.
enemy. He literally talked to the enemy and said, "Yeah, yeah, I'm going to work with you guys, and listen, this is what's going to happen." You don't tell the enemy what's going to happen. But yeah, there is no evidence that you're giving, and Trump did a lot of good things for this country. That's why I supported him. And not only that, but you clearly didn't watch the beginning where I clearly stated that I am supporting for Ron DeSantis to jump in there and be our next Donald Trump because I think he is Donald Trump's policies but much stronger because of how professional he is, and that's what I'm looking for. But yeah, you don't want you don't know what facts are, and you don't listen. So I
Well,
have
my guess is he jumped in halfway through the stream. Saw your racist symbol in the back there. Two of them. You have two racist symbols and the racist F word, freedom. And
I,
went, oh, you're an evil Trump supporter.
I actually did that in my senior year of high school.
Did that? Wait, the
The
freedom.
the freedom
Oh,
painting,
you made it.
and art
Oh, you're an artist too.
a little bit. Yeah, I've got quite a few.
Why are you gay?
One. Yeah, I know you are, but
Oh wow. Oh, do we want to bring up the Matt Walsh tweet?
yeah, go ahead and bring that one up.
All right. I'm trying to stall to see if Kaylee will show up for the last 10 minutes, but I'm
You know,
not sure.
maybe we'll bring
She's having computer issues, so thanks a lot, Apple.
Go ahead. We'll bring that up, and maybe that's a little bit of attack against cancel culture. But Matt Walsh, he was suspended from Twitter, and his first one that he came back to Twitter, he was unsuspended somehow so quickly. But anyways, he said, "I would like to sincerely apologize for the reckless comments that got me suspended. I now realize that biology doesn't exist. Science is a myth. Men are women. Women are men. Penises are vaginas, and vaginas are penises. It all makes sense to me now. I regret the error." And that is literally what Matt Walsh was canceled for on Twitter. He was removed from Twitter for literally just calling out and saying absolute facts. He was just literally saying that men are men, women are women. That's it. He got canceled off.
I don't like your hateful language. I know this is your show, but I don't allow that. Okay, that is not allowed.
That's all right. I can separate from the patriotic youth. I mean, that's okay with me. But yeah,
Wow,
it's
that quick to leave. You're kind of like my girlfriend. Really quick to leave.
yeah. But it's just funny. But yeah, it's I love Matt Walsh. I encourage you guys to go support Matt Walsh too. That's probably something I shouldn't be doing on my podcast, but you know what? I'm way smaller than him, so he really doesn't need my support. I'm going to tell you go support Matt Walsh in the
Yeah,
Daily
your 4 listeners are gonna go over there.
Yeah, yeah. I like Matt Walsh a lot. He does stuff like this, and then his book, Johnny the Walrus, things like that. He attacks the left in so many different ways, and he actually does stuff too. He goes to school board meetings and stands up and speaks too. But he's a great guy, and I'm sure that tweet will get him kicked off of Twitter here soon.
Yeah. Well, also, one thing, I think he got out of suspension pretty quickly because it's only his first one, I believe, and it's only a little bit. Like, it's like an hour-long suspension.
That's right. I think it's like 4-strike rule or something like that.
Yeah, it's 5 strikes.
Five
And then
strike.
you fifth one, you get 5 strikes, you're out. Obviously, they don't pay attention to baseball.
Yeah.
We've got one more from your brother, actually. Britton Mahler. You know you're doing well when you get your first haters. Let Freedom Ring. I only wanted to bring this up because I want you to go check out our buddy Noah Ring's podcast, Let Freedom Ring.
Shout out to Noah Ring at Let Freedom Ring. You can go check him out. He's also got a blog. I don't have the website to that, but
I write for it. I write for it as well.
Oh.
It's a Substack. You can go to noahring.org, I think, to find it. It's free. Frontlines on Substack. I write for it as well. I have the most viewed article on it, so you take that, Noah.
That's pretty sad. But yeah, I mean, I welcome the haters. I'm not scared of them. Go ahead and say what you want and do what you do, but I encourage it. I get a kick out of it.
It's enjoyable. I remember the first like hateful thing. We've got like the live chat on the patriotickids.com so that people can send in like their questions. And the first thing, this is when we first launched the website. Someone just puts F you racist, and then KKK. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, again, no evidence, no explanation, anything.
It's like one of my best friends is black, my grandpa's black, but it's okay. My aunt's Mexican, but I'm such a racist.
I think that pretty much ties us over. We're going to go ahead and jump into This Week in History. All right, so This Week in History. Really, I'm sure you probably had the same thing too, but we're going to bring it up again. We already brought it up in the beginning.
This is the worst thing ever in American history.
I think we need to remember January 6th. I think it's something that we need to look back on and flash back to because it was the worst thing that happened since 9/11. January 6th, there was so many riots. They lasted an entire maybe 2.5 hours. Did it even last that long?
I don't know. All I know is I have to get mad. All the rioters need to go to jail because they screwed me over royally on my podcast. We planned it for like an hour before, right? Before the riot started, right? We were during Trump's speech and then we were like, we were mocking CNN because they're like, oh, it's gonna get so violent, like it's so violent, blah 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 blah. And meanwhile, they're showing photos of like people at a Trump rally, and I was like, oh, this is so stupid. So I made fun of them, and then like an hour later, I get a text from my buddy like, they're rioting. I was like, oh gosh, thanks a lot, you January 6th rioters.
Well, and I don't. There's so much that happened on that day, and there's more and more evidence showing that it really wasn't as much riots as it seems. But it's something. Again, it lasted a few hours, so even if you do want to look at the bad side of it, there were bad things that happened. I'm not, don't get me wrong. There were definitely the people who were in there and doing harm. They should not have done that. Anyone who may have used any sort of force, I absolutely speak out against that. That was wrong. They did trespass, but there's also so much over exaggeration with what went on, and it was clear that there was a lot of people that were let in. I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly what was going on, and I don't know the facts about all of this. But what I can tell you is that it's not as big as they make it out to be. It is very much so nothing compared to the things that the left did not want to point out. There were so many things that the left ignored that they should have been paying attention to. They ignored all of the actual riots that were going on in cities that were burnt down because of BLM and Antifa, but then they want to focus on January 6th, the worst thing that happened since 9/11. Not the things that happened the entire year prior to that.
Yeah. I do want to give a quick shout out to the Babylon Bee. They nailed it with some of the headlines that they put out. And this one, 9/11 memorial to be replaced with more important January 6th memorial. That Photoshop is amazing. It might be one of their best works. That one and the AOC one is hysterical. Whereas AOC lays wreath at her grave on January 6th. I wish I had that Photoshop skill, but I obviously don't.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. I like that. But yeah, it's definitely something we're gonna have to remember. January 6th, all of those riots, and we will remember the one who fell during those riots and shot really incorrectly by a police officer there, one of the Capitol officers. So there was one that we will mourn her death, Ashley Babbitt, and
But what about AOC's death? Does her
uh,
death not mean anything to you?
we will be mourning AOC's near death. It is a sad thing to know that she almost died. It is a sad thing to know that we were
She was
almost
almost
in
raped
a.
as well. So she
That's true.
almost got murdered and raped.
We
Okay.
were
I mean, there
almost,
was no one in her building, but still,
we were
almost.
almost in a world without AOC, and what a horrible thing that would have been.
I
Uh,
almost died at Pearl Harbor. I mean, I was this close to dying at Pearl Harbor. This close.
I think you were just as close at dying at Pearl Harbor as AOC was at dying
Yeah.
at those January 6th riots.
Yeah.
That's a scary thing, and I was that close to dying in World War II.
hmm
There's so many things, so many near death experiences where I almost died, just as close as AOC when she died, uh, almost. But it is absolutely a thing to mourn her almost dying on January 6th. Did you have anything else on this week in history?
Well, I mean, that is the most important historical event ever.
I
Okay.
saw
Other
some
than
that
other than the Holocaust.
did that happen on January 6th?
Not on January 6th. I mean, probably some point during January 6th. It was a
I'm
few
sure
years.
it overlapped there, but I was like, "Whoa, was there some big thing about the Holocaust?" Like, I can go
No.
look that one, I guess. But yeah, I mean,
Well, you know, there's two things that are difference between the Holocaust and January 6th. A few things. One, few more people died in the Holocaust. Number two, the New York Times covered up the Holocaust, and the New York Times only talks about January 6th. So,
yeah,
little difference.
and the Holocaust well, there's one thing that is completely similar about them is that the Holocaust will always be used against the people on the right and will not be allowed to be used against people on the left. The same with the January 6th riots. You can use that against the people on the right, but not the people on the left. Same as the Holocaust. So, we see quite a bit of that. But I think that pretty much wraps us up for today. Again, next week, hopefully, I think we're going to go ahead and bring up next week. We're going to bring up some of the people who defeated cancel culture. There are quite a few that I can think of just off the top of my head. So I want to jump into those and kind of talk about that next week. But make sure to join us. We are here every Saturday at 9.
Next week, hopefully, we'll actually get Kaylee.
Yeah,
Maybe if her
yeah,
computer works.
that'd be good. Hopefully we can, and I can maybe meet her a little bit more too. But yeah. So next week we will be on here again at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure to put that down. If you hit the notification bell on YouTube, you can get notifications when all this happens. If you follow us
You
on,
don't get notifications though.
oh, you don't?
I have the bell. I have the bell. It's a form of shadow banning. Since you have, do you have a strike because of did you get a strike when we got the video removed?
I don't know. They didn't tell me anything. They just,
Because I'm
oh,
going to my YouTube. I'm subscribed on all of
yeah.
my YouTube accounts. By that it's like two. But um you're not coming up on a single one.
Well, I know
Uh
you should get notifications if you're subscribed or if you follow on Facebook or Twitter. I believe that both of those sent out a notification. So if you follow on Twitter, follow on Facebook, follow us on social media. If not, just go back. If you're watching on YouTube or Twitch or wherever, and actually, I forgot to post this up on a Rumble today. I have to do that manually, so that was kind of difficult for me today, I guess. But yeah, we
tired.
we will make sure. I'll have Tyler remind me, which means we probably won't do it again next week. But I'll make sure that this gets put up on Rumble again next week. But wherever you watch, tune in. Just tune in 9 p.m. Eastern time. We are going to be here. We're going to be live at 9 p.m. Eastern time. We're going to have fun. We had a lot of people chatting today, so we appreciate everybody for joining in the chat, for letting us see your comments, and we can always throw you up too. So give you a little bit of a shout out. Always appreciate it. Make sure to share. And then, of course, you can always listen to us on Mondays on the podcast, whatever podcast app you use. Go ahead and listen to us on Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, all of those. You can listen to us there. We're going to have another episode released on Monday. So every Monday. And then, of course, this recording will always be posted on there as well. So make sure to go and check us out. Make sure to come back here, 9 p.m. Eastern time next Saturday. will be live and we'll be joining with you, and hopefully a few more. But anyways, it was great to see you guys. Again, go check out patriotcrew.co, patriotcrew.co, and you can use political 10 for 10% off any item, or insane 15 for 15% off anything with 15 with 2 or more items. So 15% off there. So always go and check them out there. I do appreciate them so much for sponsoring us. Again, you can get a T-shirt like this. I identify as a patriot. One of my favorites on their shop too.
But you're not really a patriot, Josh. You
Not
hate your
really.
country.
Because I support Trump, so
Well, you're like a transgender. You're not patriot. You're unpatriotic, but because you identify as a patriot, according to the left, you're a patriot, but according to the right, you're unpatriotic.
well, and what's funny too, so like if I back up, did I say anything about supporting Trump this entire broadcast?
I don't think so.
I don't think I did. But I guess you can assume things however you want to assume them. But anyways, again, just join us back here, 9 p.m. Eastern time next Saturday. Hopefully we'll have Kaylee in with us next week. She was supposed to be joining us today. Just didn't work out on her end, but that's okay. And we'll hopefully get her on, talk with her, and we'll be talking with you guys as well. And my brother did put down in the chat as well that he did get a notification from both Facebook and Twitter. So if you follow us on Facebook and Twitter, then you can go and check us out. And it should send you a notification whenever we go live. I think it even sends out a notification shortly before we go live because we get them all scheduled ahead of time. So
And if you're scheduled if it's scheduled ahead of time, go to YouTube and stuff like that. It'll be up at the top, and you can push set a reminder, and then you'll get reminded. Straight to like email or something like that.
But you can always check us out also on politicallyinsane.us. We've got all the sources from all of our shows. They all go there. So if you're ever questioning where we get our information, we've got sources there. We've also got all kinds of other things. You can check out our sponsors on the sponsors page. You can check out our episodes, everything. So go check us out there. And that's pretty much wraps us up. So make sure to share us. And we'll see you again next week. We will join you again. But we'll see you. And until then, God bless.